Good Saturday morning with the pads on for the first time. A lot of really great learning opportunities for these young men, and I thought they've handled things very well this week. I told them after practice what is most impressive to me is two things. Number one, just the level of maturity that they're showing and the way they're going about their business in a very business-like way. And then the way that they're able to compete hard and with intensity and with physicality and yet still take care of each other, and you're not seeing cheap shots and you're not seeing a lot of guys on the ground. I think that's probably a reflection of two things. Number one, athleticism, and number two, just understanding how to practice physical in pads, but not hurt each other. It's when you get guys on the ground, it seems that you end up having some problems. So we've been able to avoid that for the most part. But it was a good first week. The other thing I asked them after practice is, when we come over from individual into 9-on-7, you see a tremendous amount of false starts. To me, that's just a symptom of lack of concentration early in practice. We go through practice, we end up, eliminating them. So we have to just be able to get through that earlier, and we will. I think going with the cadence the way we are is really going to help Josh. When you can manipulate the cadence the way we want to be able to do, and you have a quarterback as smart as Josh, it gives you a tremendous advantage. Number one, you may pull guys off sides. Number two, you can catch them off balance. But probably most importantly is you can get the defense to show their hand. And with a guy like Josh, you can diagnose defenses the way he can. If he can get the ball in his hands before, or if he can see the defense before he has the ball in his hands, then he's going to make the right decisions with regards to where to throw it. So we're going to continue to work through that. And like I said, it was a good first week. So I was impressed with the way all the early admits came in and worked. I thought they all looked like what we thought they'd look like when we recruited them. Certainly, being a quarterback for Matt, that's the most difficult because you can see every single mistake. You can't necessarily see the mistakes the other guys make, but I like the way that they're approaching their work here, and I'm excited about all of them. So it was a good first week.
So when you go to pads first day, is a big concern coming away without any injuries? Is that the
you know what I worry about, Tracy? I worry about them getting out of control, and not cheap shots. It's just there's an anticipation of collisions. They like collisions, or they wouldn't play football, and just somebody taking it too far. And I didn't see that today. And then you're right, yeah, just bodies on the ground or injuries, and I think we avoided that for the most part. It looked like Bolu, did something to his lower body, but he told me he's okay. It looked like Nate Starks, might have rolled his ankle, but he seems to be okay. So I think we came out of it okay. There's always going to be bumps and bruises the first time you put pads on, but like I said, the key, in my opinion, is to stay on your feet. You stay on your feet and you avoid the piles, and you typically can avoid some of the injury issues.
Speaking of the running backs, they look like they stood out today.
I would agree. I would agree that and when they stand out, I think that is a great indication of what's happening up front. Moving people off the line of scrimmage, creating some running lanes. But then there were some plays where the defense won. I thought it was a very even practice today in terms of competition. I'm just happy with the progress. I'm happy with the way they're competing. But we'll continue to push hard and come out here. We'll have 4 practices next week, and we'll get after it and try to keep getting better.
How has Soso changed from the season?
Well, if you were to compare him today to his first practice last year in San Bernardino, where he kind of danced around and looked tentative, he doesn't look like that anymore. He's got patience behind the line of scrimmage, but when he sees it open up, he puts his foot in the ground and he gets downhill. And he wasn't necessarily doing that early last year. We saw it, I think, maybe that last scrimmage up in San Bernardino, but he's just got explosion, he's got burst, he's a glider that has speed, and he's elusive, and he's smart.
You talk about competition. Yesterday you had a competition between offense and defense during the scrimmage. Did you have something similar today?
Yeah, we did, but I didn't have them run day. What we're doing is every day just kind of create something, and the first 2 days it was third down, and today the defense won by a landslide, and practice had gone a little long, so they'll owe us a couple laps here. But yeah, I think you want to create competition in everything that you do, as long as it's healthy and it doesn't become condescending and a negative aspect of your practice. But these kids love to compete. They are at this level because they're not only tremendous athletes, but they're great competitors. So you've got to give them got to give him that.
How important is that to keep the competitive nature up, even in spring when learning and teaching and all those drills are just as important?
Well, it's a good question. There's a balance there, and so you'll see the way practice is split up. There's large chunks of teaching periods early, and then there's competition, and within our teamwork and our competition, our 9-on-7, our 1-on-1, there's still a lot of coaching going on. We've slowed the tempo down just a little bit because we're introducing a lot of new concepts both offensively and defensively. But I think there always needs to be that element of competition. I think that's going to bring out the best in everybody, so that's what we're striving for.
The first 2 days were third down. What was it?
Third down? No,
Third
the
down
first
today?
day. First day was nothing. It was just football. Thursday and today were third down, and it was pretty even. On Thursday today, it wasn't even. So it wasn't even at all.
Coach Bradley thought that you purposely keep it close until the very end.
Well, I did on Thursday, but today there was just really kind of no way to avoid it. I mean, the count got way out of hand early, so I couldn't fudge it that much. I lost my credibility. So
How does Nick Terry look?
The first 2 days without pads, he really flashed. And so when a guy on the defensive line flashes without pads, you kind of discount. You go, well, he might be one of those guys that's really good in the soft gear. When you put on the pads, let's see how he does. I think he did some really good things today as well. He's got heavy hands. He's got really good punch. He plays with good leverage. I like him. I think he's a really good addition. I'm glad he's here in the spring. It's really going to help him as we go into the fall. I think that he can really help us. I think he even has some pass rush ability. He's got a good little swim move. There's some habits that he has to break. He'll swim a guy and make a play, and it looks great. But if you do that, too many times, all of a sudden you're going to get pushed out of plays as well. So, but I'm glad we've got him. I think he's going to be a good player for us.
How are you pleased with the development of the guys who are now filling fullback and tight end roles?
That's a great question too. I think Cameron Griffin has been a standout the first 3 days at fullback. He needs to learn how to play with a little bit lower pad level, when he's taking on linebackers and blocking, but that will happen for him because he's really willing. I think you're seeing that his rugby background will be a benefit. And then I'm surprised at his hands. He's got good hands. So you'd like to be able to throw the ball to your fullback in the flat. And it looks like we'd be able to do that with him. I thought Ainu has done some good things. When you're a linebacker and Ainu's running downhill at you at 290 pounds, that's not something that is a real welcoming sight. Nate Ayese, his role has changed a little bit more. He's been a tight end, H-back. Now he's doing a little bit more on the line of scrimmage until Jordan Wilson gets here in the fall. And then I've been impressed with Austin Roberts, very impressed with Austin. I think that Austin is going to be a real weapon for us. I think he can do some things off the line of scrimmage. I think he can do some things on the line of scrimmage, blocking at the point of attack, probably more apt to be on the backside, and then I think he's a pass-catching threat as well. So
His dad a tight end pro?
His dad was the tight ends coach for the Indianapolis Colts. He's out of football this year, and actually he's been out here with us all week. But I don't know that Alfredo was a tight end. He's just big man. So.
Have you thought at all about Alex Van Dyke a tight end at any point? Or
no. His body's a little different. He's linear. He's tall and he's really well built, but he's pretty slender and he's pretty high cut. And I think putting him out on the outside is where he belongs. We'll move him around, but it's more than just the body type you're looking for. It's punch. Guys got to have punch and be able to roll their hips, and Austin can do those things. Alex is more of a pure wide receiver, even though he's got that, he looks like T.O. and guys like that. He's had 3 good days as well. He's playing with a lot of confidence.
Would you say his catching under pressure in terms of taking the hits is better? Because it looked like he caught a couple right in there taking hits today.
I think his confidence level's up, and so you see that. Yeah, I think that you look at his body, you can tell he's filled out, he's matured, he's physical. I think his concentration level has improved because his confidence has improved, and so he's able to stay focused on the ball. And these guys, they get to this level, and it's just a transition that they all go through, and they all pass through it at their own pace. And it seems like not the lights come on, that he just really understands it now. Yeah, I'm excited about our receiving corps. Theo didn't do anything spectacular today, but the first 2 practices he had tremendous catches. Demetric Felton had a really good catch on the sideline. It's great to have Cordell in. You know, I think he's going to help us. He's big, and you can tell that he hasn't played in a while, but he's still athletic. Kenny Walker's done good things. It's a good group of receivers. So, and Ish has been really good at it. That's a good spot for him. A good spot.
Body language seems to be liking
Ish?
Yeah.
It seems to me that he does too. Yeah, I would agree with you. I saw something on tape Thursday that, you know, we've kind of been looking for, and that's you give the guy, a player, the ball in space, and then you let them go make a play with their athleticism, their quickness, and their burst and acceleration. And Ish caught a little pass. Two guys were converging on him, and he was able to split them. And that's what you're looking for. You know, give him the ball in space and let him go make something happen. And I think Ishmael has that ability. So, and I'm happy that he's enjoying it.